We'll tell you who looks like the worst in the latest reports about the Lakers' dysfunction. But we start today with Kawhi Leonard. All right, did you guys know that I'm a gamer? Yeah. A couple of months ago, at the ripe age of 51, I bought a PlayStation 4. I feel 14 again. I bring this up because there's a video game about Toronto Raptors small forward Kawhi Leonard. The game is called Hitman 2: Silent Assassin. It came out in 2002 and is part of a series of Hitman video games. The premise is that scientists created a clone who is the perfect assassin. He escapes his original captor and goes to work for the International Contract Agency. He's then hired out to kill the wealthiest criminals across the globe. Kawhi Leonard is the silent assassin. He escaped the scientists who created him, Greg Popovich, and went to work for the lone international team in the NBA. The Raptors hired Leonard to assassinate international basketball stars Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And now, Hitman 2 has reached the final stage of gameplay where he'll have to take on the American dynasty led by Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and quite possibly Golden State's nuclear weapon, Kevin Durant. If Hitman 2 Silent Assassin is successful in his final mission, he's going to draw even more comparisons to Michael Jordan, the star of the NBA's Call of Duty video game series. Those comparisons will be justified. Taking this Toronto team to the finals is as impressive as LeBron James taking Cleveland to the finals. I say that because Toronto faced stiffer competition in the Eastern Conference than what LeBron did in his last 4 seasons in Cleveland. I'm not saying Kawhi is peak LeBron's equal. That would be ludicrous. I am saying Kawhi is the best player right now. He's better than the 34-year-old LeBron. After watching the Eastern Conference Finals, no one questions whether he's better than Giannis. Kawhi's only competition at this point is Durant, and right now I give the nod to the silent assassin. His advantage on the defensive end is more pronounced than Durant's on the offensive end. No one gets 35 points easier than Durant, but Kawhi can get you 35 when you need it. What separates him is no other superstar can embarrass Giannis and slow every other elite scorer in the league. No wonder Clippers owner Steve Ballmer desperately wants to bring Kawhi to Los Angeles. He wants to contract the silent assassin to finish killing the Lakers franchise. All right, joining the desk now, NBA champion Matt Barnes, Rick Bucher of Bleacher Report. Marcellus, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
Is Kawhi the best player in the NBA right now?
No. And I understand the prisoner of the moment. I understand the dynamic. I know what's going on with Locke. You know, them keys ain't going to press themselves. You got to write something, huh, my dog? But can we remind ourselves who Kevin Durant is and was before this injury? Full screen right here shows a list of the all-time greats of our game. 34 points per game in a single postseason. Durant, obviously, on that list. LeBron, Jordan, Kareem, etc. That's who Durant was. But also, his defensive prowess started to really get attention. His rim protection started to get attention. But I will leave you with this. We see Giannis, we see Embiid, and we see that path for the Toronto Raptors and Kawhi Leonard. Do you know what Kevin Durant did to the King the last 2 times he saw the King in the finals, finals MVP? So the road to this place of being the best in the game, I'd rather beat the King at that game, you got the PlayStation 4, rather than beat up on Giannis and Embiid who are coming, who are not there yet.
We might have to come up with a Marcellog because that was impressive. No, that was well done. Yeah, look, it's out of sight, out of mind. And I believe you make the point that that KD and his defense is being given enough recognition. He has really stepped it up at that end. And when I look at the offensive end, he can do more things. If you're asking me who would I rather have, it's not even close. I love Kawhi in isolation situations, but he doesn't do nearly the same. And this has been impressive, but it is prisoner of the moment because it has been so dramatic. We have the 4-bounce game winner, series winner against Philadelphia, and then we have him going up against Giannis. But let's take a hard look at what the matchups were in that series and what Kawhi was able to do. He's going up against, I think we overvalued who the Bucks were. It was an inexperienced Bucks team. It was an inexperienced Giannis. He made the most of that. I love seeing Kawhi back to reminding us of what he can be. But It's simply sometimes you got to step away from the stats, from the keyboard, and you just have to say, what can this guy do? What can this guy do? This guy can.
I'm gonna start firing back here.
He's coming.
Paulo.
There's the joystick right now.
This is a what have you done for me lately? I think the fact that KD's been hurt of late, now it's his turn. But you've heard it's been Giannis at one point in these playoffs. It's been KD at one point in these playoffs, and now it's Kawhi. But for a lot of reasons that Rick said, I mean, KD is a proven, whether you like him going to Golden State or not, proven warrior. What he's done against LeBron, what he was doing before he got hurt. Now, this is not taking anything away from Kawhi. I think this is a reminder of, and I've always said it, that his year off made people forget how talented he was. He's top 3 in the world to me. It's LeBron, KD, and Kawhi. In my opinion, when it comes to best players in the world. But I love what he does defensively. He's able to disrupt the game like no one else in the game defensively. But like Rick said as well, KD is not as good on ball. He's a solid on-ball defender, but a great help defender and very long and a basket protector as well. So if you're making me pick between KD and Kawhi, I would say KD right now.
And I don't in any way intend to diminish Kevin Durant because I'm right there as a cheerleader. Kevin Durant, tremendous player. But you guys are kidding me. Giannis is probably going to win the MVP.
Right.
And Kawhi Leonard just made everybody look foolish for thinking he's the MVP.
But I just think more than that, not to cut you off, he showed that Giannis still has some more developing to do.
Right.
Although he's an MVP, and I said it on the other show, he's a star on his way becoming a superstar. I think Kawhi pointed out the deficiencies in this game, and once you lock that paint down, what is Giannis going to do?
Right.
And so, of all the impressive things we've seen in the postseason so far, and we saw Durant against the Clippers look amazing, what Kawhi just did to Giannis is the most impressive thing, and there's no one else that can do it. I'm just sorry.
But keep in mind, it wasn't just it wasn't just
effort.
Kawhi. Yeah, they had
set
that
up a
second
defensive
defender
strategy.
coming early. What really bothered me is Boston could have been doing all of that.
Absolutely.
They could have exposed.
They don't have Kawhi Leonard, man.
Yeah, but they team-wise, they had the athletes, and I thought they had the coach.
You
that could
take
convince them to
Kawhi
play the way they need
You
to.
take the Kawhi out of that,
Yes.
and they can't do that. You can't. Again, Brad Stevens is no idiot. If he had the personnel and it starts with Kawhi, you can't do it.
Well, you can have the plan, but the personnel have to execute it. But they didn't. They never came close. The Boston had its. Boston did it to itself. But don't make us pay the price for anybody who put Giannis or was blowing smoke.
Well, I'm sure
when
you
it came
voted
to Giannis.
for him for MVP.
No,
like
I had
everybody.
Harden actually at the top of my.
And he's not the MVP either, and he got embarrassed as well.
Well, who would you have put at the top of the
right now
regular season?
No,
Regular
I
season.
understand it's regular season. If Kawhi had chosen to play all 82, he would have been the MVP. But again, I want to go back to Durant and what he did to LeBron. If you put Kawhi with a 2-time MVP Steph Curry and Clay and all that system and all that they had around it, it's a lot easier to do that. It is. And so what this guy just did in the East with Kyle Lowry, who looks overweight, Serge, who's past his prime, Siakam, who we had never heard of, Nick Nurse.
Since we nitpicking right here, let's talk about a Joel Embiid who's never healthy, and when he is healthy, he'll text his coach in the morning, may not play tonight, which showed me a lot about his character. I've never seen this in my years of playing pro sports. 6 in the morning, I'm making a 7:30 p.m. call to tell him in maybe 12 plus hours I'm probably not ready. That's not a guy who's a made man or a guy who's on the ascent. Giannis is one-dimensional. He was playing LeBron philosophy, put shooters around him and just dash and go to the rim. That's not a guy who's multifaceted and ready to be the king or the best in the game.
But we just watched a guy carry the weight, the most weight, on both ends of the court. LeBron ain't doing that no more, and I'm sorry, Klay Thompson carries the heaviest load on the defensive end for Golden State. Kawhi just did it at both ends of the court. First team All-Pro or All-NBA at both ends of the court in that series and throughout these playoffs, and he's hitting game winners and all the. And again, I'm not remotely diminishing KD,
Right.
But he's no comparison to him at the other end of the court, and I get that. On the offensive end, KD has more weapons, but Kawhi can go out and get you 30.
The no comparison at the defensive end, I think, is separating them by too much. The other part is, okay, so against this Milwaukee team, once you took Giannis out of the equation and you didn't allow him to do what he did,
Kawhi did that.
Okay, what else did you have to worry about?
Say it.
Who else were you having to?
How many people should Kawhi be responsible for?
I'm not saying he's responsible for all of them.
He's speaking in general as a team. Like, you knocked their first option out. Who's their second scorer?
And who did that? You had Kawhi did it.
Understood, but there weren't other things that they could go to. It was a one-trick pony.
Right.
So he took him out, and as a result,
Boston
they
couldn't do
succeed. Trust me, I know they didn't do it because I expected that they could. I understand that. But the bottom line is it wasn't that hard to decipher. That's damning on Boston's part. And the other part for Kawhi in the postseason.
We're only talking about Kawhi.
And we're also talking about the postseason. This is the other part that I believe that Kawhi had a huge advantage. He's been there, he's done it, he's seen it all. It's the same as with LeBron. There is if we're talking about, okay, is experience or just a comfort level on this stage?